These are the days you dream about. Will there be more FA Cup drama today?
Bore da, good morning. We're in North Wales for a Sunday lunchtime treat as the FA Cup first round weekend continues. It's 2 years now since Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney took over here at Wrexham. Maybe an unlikely club for a Hollywood takeover, but there's no question they've been embraced by the local community and they've added a real dash of glamour to the grind of the National League.
Hollywood stars Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have become the new owners of Wrexham Football Club.
We're still in shock. Just going to get the town bouncing.
This is a very high-profile thing, but we want to assure everyone that we are taking this venture very seriously.
Wow! Now that's a stadium.
We're more used to seeing them from our cinema seats.
We just don't have anything like this.
Today, though, it was from the stands.
Why Wrexham AFC?
I think we can do something special.
That club has got some of the richest history going, so why wouldn't they?
This Hollywood duo say they're in it for the long haul.
We want to grow the club in the community in a way that is giving the club the respect that it deserves, and certainly the community around it.
The town is buzzing. Even people who don't like football are just like, Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Reynolds.
That was amazing.
It was on the map a little bit.
Yeah, a bit of Hollywood, isn't it?
Fans are now hoping the stage is set for award-winning performances on the pitch too.
This grass is like cashmere. Is this real?
Deadpool star Ryan and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia actor Rob are not here for today's match, but their impact can be seen around the town and the ground. Their opponents today, Oldham Athletic, have also enjoyed better days. The present reality is that they too are in the National League, looking to climb up the pyramid once again. Boreham Wood showed what teams from this level can do last season with a run to the fifth round. Kick-off here is in 45 minutes' time. Hello to Ron and Rob, if you happen to be watching. And we did have Idris Elba on our FA Cup coverage last year, so you're very welcome at any time. And two who have made it to the racecourse today, Wrexham's FA Cup hero in 1992, Mickey Thomas, who played in the Cup final itself for Manchester United, and Joby McAnuff is with us as well. Good morning, gentlemen. At a club, you had two spells here. You know this club as well as anybody. This is a revitalised club, a revitalised town, isn't it, Mickey?
Yeah, without doubt. Obviously, the new owners have brought life back to Wrexham. The football team doing well, which is important. Got a good manager, good team. Obviously, the priority is get promotion. That's the big one. But today is important. The FA Cup, we've got a good history with the FA Cup.
You feel a real buzz around here, don't you, Joby? It says a lot about football in the UK that you can have Hollywood stars who want to invest in a National League team. That says a lot.
It does, but I think when you look at the size of the club and the potential, I think that's what they've really bought into. You look at the attendances this season, averaging about 9.5. They've hit 10 a couple of times. So I think that is a big factor. This is a big football club. You do feel it when you come here, and it certainly feels like a club moving in the right direction.
Now, you're far too young to remember 1992. I remember it so well. I actually watched the replay here as a working man. After what happened in the third round, Mickey, this was a day and a half. You were bottom of the Football League, and Arsenal were the champions.
Yeah, incredible. You know, Arsenal firm favourites, champions, of course, and you know, they absolutely destroyed us in the first 45 minutes. Only get the one goal, but I get the equaliser, bit of a tapping, and obviously Steve Watkin with the winning goal. Yeah, it was a great occasion. Anyone in that ground will never forget that day. You know, I won't let them forget it anyway.
That free kick is hit with some ferocity past the England goalkeeper.
Yeah, I took a free kick in training with a 5-yard run up, and I tried the same thing, and the power got on it. And obviously David Seaman, a great goalkeeper, to get that from that range past him, I was happy with that.
They certainly haven't forgotten. I mean, he's had a queue of people for photos, autographs all morning so far. you know, and it's lovely to see certainly that connection that you've got with the football club.
At that stage of your career, Mickey, the great Brian Flynn was your manager. You were, I'm not saying you were allowed to do what you wanted, but there was a couple of Guinness to make sure you were strong during the week, weren't there, as well?
Yeah, I did what I wanted, to be honest, Mark. Yeah, before the game, the night before, we were in a hotel, and you know, there like 1 or 2 Guinnesses, so he let me have 1 or 2. I probably had 4, to be honest. But yeah, just relaxing that, because the occasion, you know, we know what was coming the next day, the biggest game in Wrexham history. You know, we know we're their favourites now, but we got prepared right for it. And you know, on that day, it was a special day. Never forget that. And as I said, Wrexham fans will never forget either, Joby.
Absolutely, that's what the FA Cup is all about, those sorts of memories. And for Wrexham and, of course, for Oldham today, the priority, as Mickey said, is to get to promotion. But to get a cup run, to get the finances, to get the PR that comes with it, the exposure with it, that has to be a good thing all the way along.
Oh, absolutely. It's about, certainly for Wrexham's point of view, that exposure, you know, on a wider scale than just football over here, which we've seen, you know, with the documentary series. But again, for Oldham, about just trying to win some football matches. They've had a real difficult period of time, really, that's spilled into this season. So it's about trying to win football matches and getting themselves on a roll. And
they're a good team, aren't they? Particularly here, Wrexham. They're invincible.
Yeah,
here.
On good form, Mark. There's no question about that. You know, they're scoring lots of goals, but for Oldham to come in, you know, give them a little bit of credit. I mean, they're coming to this National League. It's not easy for them. You know, they have a new owner, we know that for a fact. But the thing about Oldham is it's not going to be easy for them today, because Wrexham at home are scoring goals for fun. And they have the worst defensive record in the National League, Oldham, so it's not going to be easy for them.
Well, we hope we're guaranteed goals, and Mickey's goal will forever have a place in the FA Cup giant-killing folklore, as will, of course, this iconic goal from Ronnie Radford, possibly the most famous in the competition's 150-year history, which was scored in one of the biggest cup upsets ever. Ronnie sadly passed away this week, aged 79. His name will always be linked with non-league Hereford's win over top-flight Newcastle in 1972 at a waterlogged Edgar Street. We're at the racecourse ground in Wrexham today as the FA Cup first round continues. Kick-off against Oldham Athletic is at 12:30. Yesterday, Alvechurch from the 7th tier of the league pyramid caused the biggest upset of the round. The lowest ranked team left in the cup beat League One Cheltenham away from home, no less, thanks to a double strike by Danny Waldron. Ryan Jackson halved their lead, but the Worcestershire team, some 96 places below their hosts, held on for a famous victory. Another League One side, Lincoln City, were also victims of a cup upset. The 2017 quarter-finals shot by Chippenham Town. Joe Hanks, and this back-heeled goal sealed an unlikely victory for the National League South team. Elsewhere, there were away wins for 6th tier Farnborough and Kings Lynn against Sutton United and Doncaster respectively. AFC Fylde and Weymouth will take their chances in a replay in around 10 days' time. So a big day for everyone here at the racecourse. Let's hear from Wrexham's manager, Phil Parkinson, with Gabriel Clark.
Phil, there's so much positivity, so much high profile around this team right now, which is great to see. With that comes expectation, I suppose, in terms of your role. So how do you sum up your season so far and where you feel the club are right now?
Well, season so far, you know, we're pleased. We're right up there at the top end of the table where we want to be. Still got a lot of work to do. I think there's improvements we can make from within the squad. But yeah, very pleased with the way we've approached the first third or so of the season.
You've been perfect here so far. What's the key quality you'd like your team to show today that you've really been impressed with this season?
Well, I think you'll hopefully pick it up on the TV today. There's a great atmosphere in the Racecourse Stadium, and we've got to use that atmosphere to create an intensity about the way we play, and that's what we've done. We've made it very difficult for the opposition to play first and foremost, and played our football on the back of that. So yeah, we've got some good attacking players, but equally it's about doing both sides of the game, and I think when we do that right, we look a decent side. But we know Oldham We played them recently and it was a very, very tough game. It went right to the wire. Unzi will have them fired up today, I've no doubt about that, and we're going to have to be right on our guard.
Sam Dolby comes in up front for you. What's he going to add, hopefully?
Yeah, well, Sam has been patient, but I feel he deserves his chance today. He's trained really well. He's a good technical player. If we can get quality into his feet and around the box, he can make things happen. So, yeah, it's a great opportunity for Sam, and I think he's going to be an important player for us for years to come.
I'm sure the owners will be watching. Have they talked to you about the bonus of an FA Cup chapter or two to go with the story?
Not really. We haven't mentioned that at all. They leave us to it to get on with the job. But equally, every time the players or myself represent the club, we know there's an expectation on us to perform, and I'll be looking for us to do that today. If it's good enough to get us through to the next round, fantastic.
Good luck, Phil.
Thank you.
Let's have a look at the teams then, and the team that Phil Parkinson is sending out for Wrexham. Joby, is your eye drawn to number 10, Paul Mullin, as the real danger when it comes to the Oldham defence?
Yeah, absolutely. Him and certainly in them forward areas is the real threat. You know, with Ollie Palmer, who's obviously on the bench today, formed a real prolific partnership. Certainly ability and goal scoring ability to play a lot higher. I came across him in his Cambridge days, played against him that season. He was top scorer. Fantastic ability in and around the box. You know, you can see there with an assist combining with Palmer. You know, and I think what he brings is not just that threat in behind, he's a physical presence as well. And I think it'd be really nice to see him with Sam Dolby today, another player that I know really well, who will come and try and link and get in pockets. But he is just an out-and-out goal scorer, isn't he, Mickey?
Yeah, without doubt, Mullin, you know, a natural goal scorer. I mean, a big asset to Wrexham, there's no question about that. Anywhere in that 18-yard box, he'll finish it. He's a natural, as I said. But I think Palmer's not playing today. I'm not sure how that's going to work with it. Obviously, Dolby coming in. But for me, Mullin, every time he got great presence, you said, Joby, you know, on that football pitch, they're aware of him. He did gain attention, which is important, that he gets the ball as quick as possible, because he's a good player. That's
the obvious threat up front, but you feel there's goals from defence as well in this Wrexham team?
Absolutely. I mean, Aaron Hayden, 8 goals already from centre-half, Ben Tozer as well. And I think that's probably, for me this season, looking at Wrexham, they've found different ways to win games. It's not all about just blowing teams away here. They've gone and ground out a tough 1-0 win recently at Maidenhead. So there's so many different ways they can hurt you.
Yeah, without doubt. I mean, Aaron Hayden, 8 goals so far this season from defensive positions. Yeah, from set pieces, is definitely a threat. Oldham have to be aware of that as well.
So there's the options indeed that Wrexham have at the back, but also up front with Paul Mullin. Let's have a look at the Oldham team. There are going to be a few surnames here that leap out at you when you have a look at them, and the easiest way to say is that they're brothers of. That's Timmy Abraham, Tammy's brother. Tammy's playing in the Rome derby today. John Rooney, brother of Wayne. Charlie Cooper in there, his grandfather Terry Cooper, the brilliant Leeds left-back who played in the World Cup for England in 1970. You want to pick out number 18, though, in there?
Yeah, Ben Tollett. I think for a team that has struggled for goals this year, he's probably been the most likely source of that. He's got 6 so far. Plays off the left, can play in behind Abraham, but certainly carries a threat going forward. He'll drift off that if he is on the left-hand side today, drift inside, coming in on his right foot, and certainly he'd be the one I'd be looking at to get that creativity going and goal scoring for Oldham.
Yeah, as Phil Parkinson said, the league game here was a very tight game, wasn't it? I mean, Oldham got over the line because they won every game here, but Wrexham got over the line, but Oldham pushed them all the way.
Yeah, Wrexham won it late in the game, Mark. You know, I think Oldham put probably best performance this season, but this is a difficult game from today. You know, I have to favour Wrexham. I know it's an FA Cup game and it can go either way, but you know, the way Wrexham are playing, they're confident, they're moving the ball around well. Oldham will have to be at their best to get a result here today.
Yeah, Oldham have found it inevitably quite a challenge, as every club does when they are relegated from the Football League to the National League level.
Yeah, and I think there's been such disruption. We've seen pitch invasions, you know, fans not happy with the ownership, and you know, 2 relegations in 4 years. It really has been a club in free fall. I think what they really need to try and do with the new ownership, and I think with the manager, is really find some stability and just make sure they don't go down again, and then try and build from that point.
Well, we've spoken about Wrexham's millionaire owners, but as we touched on just then, Oldham have a new owner of their own as well. He's an Atlantic Ocean rowing, world record holding, club saving superhero who is looking to reverse Oldham's fortunes. We'll hear from the formidable Frank Rothwell next, who's caught the attention of his opposite numbers in the build-up to this cup tie.
Oldham Athletics' Frank Rothwell says he's never heard of Wrexham's owners.
Well, we've heard of you, Frank. Born in England in 1950, he grew up to be a 72-year-old man with a hat and glasses. Either way, we know you, Frank.
And you'll know us tomorrow.
Oldham were close to going into liquidation after 4.5 years under the ownership of Abdallah Lemsagan, which saw 2 relegations and 10 changes of manager. Local man Frank Rothwell stepped in during the summer to save the club as he aims to bring the good times back to Boundary Park alongside a very familiar face.
Let me show you something.
You'll find him on Saddleworth Moor.
This is the front wheels and front axle off the steam traction engine I'm building.
When he's not traversing the globe.
We've got something else to show you, something really, really good.
Frank Rothwell is a force of nature.
Oh, this is really good.
Propelled by a rocket fuel for life.
I have sailed my own yacht around the world, all the way around North America and South America. Make sure you shut the gate, we don't want the sheep getting out. Right, that's shut. I built the only coal-powered Land Rover in the world. What else have I done? Oh, are you ready for this? And I'm the oldest person to row any ocean solo, and because of that, I got 2 Guinness World Records for that.
Engineer. Adventurer.
Saviour. Quite simple, saviour. I thank him every time I see him.
Over that hill there, in line with that church steeple, is Oldham Athletic Football Club, just over that hill.
3 decades ago, Oldham Athletic were European football's unlikely fairy tale.
If Neil Redfern scores, Oldham are second division champions. He has! Unbelievable stuff here at Boundary Park!
Cup finalists and Premier League founder members. One manager inspired the rise.
Once we've attuned, if you like, to the Premier League, we want to go on, we want to threaten Europe.
Joe Rowell's the best thing that's ever happened to Oldham Athletic.
Best manager we've had here for years.
After him, 25 more tried and failed. In April, Oldham dropped out of the Football League.
The club was going under. Too many people who weren't qualified as football people making football decisions.
The royal family intervened.
This place has improved dramatically, hasn't it? Yeah.
Joe's son, Darren, took a trip to Saddleworth Moor.
He found Frank, if that's the word, and Frank and his wife Judith immediately said, well, we'll have a go at that.
How much did Oldham Athletic cost you?
13 million. Oh, can you hear the cows?
What have you got for your money?
It's good fun.
We're very proud to be here, quite an emotional day. All I can say is this is a dream ticket for the town.
On July 29th, Frank realised just what he'd done.
All of a sudden I can hear this cheering and singing outside, you know, and chanting, and we looked out the window. There were hundreds of people outside. The passion of everybody there, and it was brilliant.
The town came out to celebrate that their club was going to survive. And then when he started singing, it was even better.
I'm the kind of guy.
The impact was instant on the town's identity and self-esteem.
We sold a full year's supply of shirts the first week. Our attendance is 7,500 average. Phenomenal, isn't it? The top team in the National League gets 9,500. We are second on 7,500, and they've got film star owners.
Wrexham have never played in England's top division. Their aspirations have been transformed by Hollywood ownership.
Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, what do those names mean to you?
Well, I do know that they're film stars.
We want to win right now while we're alive, and we also want to set up the structure for the club to continue to win long after we're dead.
Unless there's a meteor, in which case we're all
Yeah.
Who needs the Hollywood hills when you've got these hills here? Look at this.
They've invested £2 million, apparently, in Wrexham. Who got the better deal?
Me! Me! I've got the better deal. When they've decided, oh, I've had enough of this, you know, and they flag it to some other investor, you know, it'll disappear.
I think it's great that they want to get involved. If they want to put their money in it, good luck to them.
Now, Ryan Reynolds hasn't got one of these, has he? It's not for me. Our Hollywood star is Joe Royle.
In this competition, Joe has played the role of heroic leading man.
This is my manager's gold medal from 1995 for winning the FA Cup.
A player in Joe's Everton team of 95, David Unsworth, Oldham's manager, will, they say, be given time. But Chairman Frank has succeeded in life by making every minute count. He's rowing the Atlantic again solo next year, as you do.
This is the night light, so people can see where I'm going at night. And if you have a look down here...
Living proof hard work can take you a long way. Twinned with hope, anything's possible.
Let's see. If I'd have said when I first came here in 1982, by the way, we're going to be founding members of the Premier League in a few years' time, people would have thought I was mad. So I don't mind being mad.
A football club cannot have the level of support that Oldham has, right, and not succeed.
He's worked a minor miracle already. We've got to take it on now.
Come on, Oldham!
You watch that and you have to smile and you have to laugh and you have to understand the connection and the revitalisation really that Frank Rothwell, who's not here today because he's preparing for that row solo across the Atlantic. You could see the impact he's had already on Oldham.
Oh, absolutely. I think the enthusiasm, the passion he's got for the football club, and as you say, it certainly put a smile on my face watching that video, and he's definitely put a smile on Oldham fans' faces after what has been a real difficult period of time. And certainly with him in charge, hopefully from their point of view, there's only one way that football club's going to be going.
Mickey, they're the first team ever to have been in the Premier League, who've been relegated all the way down the snakes and ladders of football, all the way to the National League.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I love Frank by that interview. What a guy. I'm not sure what he's got himself into. Yeah, it's going to be tough for him, no question about that. But Oldham have got a good, I think, support, great support. But for me today, I want to see Frank, obviously, not too happy, but it's going to be a day for him to enjoy because this is a massive game. The League 4 and poor, this is a massive distraction, a good distraction if they win this game.
But and I know it's easy, we could all get carried away and look at that, Joby, but he's surrounded himself by Joe Royle's son who's chief executive, Franny Jeffers is on the staff, John Eberald's on the staff, there's a big Evertonian influence on the staff there. As he says, surrounded by people who do know this game, which is vitally important.
Well, they know the game, and also Joe Royle knows the football club, and I think rebuilding that connection with the fans is absolutely huge. Again, my experience at Leyton Orient, similar, bad ownership, fell out the league. They go and get Martin Ling in, and as soon as their fans see that, somebody who's got a real love for that football club, and they believe that the people involved, and they want to believe, really want that football club to succeed and do well, and I think that's a huge decision moving forward for them.
I mean, for our younger viewers, it may come as a surprise, Joe Royle was literally moments from taking Oldham to the FA Cup final itself when Manchester United twice broke his hearts in the 1990s. But let's look at the National League now, Joby. Notts County, Wrexham, Chesterfield, Oldham, Boreham Wood, York, Scunthorpe. Boreham Wood are the only one who have not been a Football League team. I mean, those are teams that could almost be in League One, let alone League Two, and they're in the National League.
Well, we spoke about it off air, Mark, about the depth of football in this country. I mean, you're talking about a club in the 5th tier, averaging 9.5, 7,500, and it's a tough league to get out of, particularly being a big club, because you have got that sort of target on your back, and it is really important to try and, again, for them to stabilise and try and get themselves moving forward as quickly as possible. You look at Wrexham, 15th season out the Football League, and I think when they got relegated all those years ago, no Wrexham fan would have thought it would have taken that long to get back.
No, the problem is, Mark, you can't get out of it. It's that difficult. It's a very tough league. It's very, for me, you've got to get out first time. If you don't, then you're going to start having problems and that. Wrexham now, I think, are built for success, built to get out of this league. I think money enhances your chances of getting into the league. So, yeah, today's a big game, I said, but let's have a distraction, a nice distraction.
Yeah, I mean, one automatic place and one through the playoffs. I mean, a lot of people say, well, there should be two go up automatically. Well, turkeys and Christmas, the League Two teams aren't going to invite that, but it means that what people are going to watch this morning, this level, is it League Two? I mean, it's as good as League Two, would you say? These are pro teams.
Yeah, when you look at some of the players that obviously these teams are attracting with already touched on Paul Mullin, you know, the players that Wrexham are recruiting. There's certainly players that can play way above League Two level. And it's about bringing the right characters in, though, Mark, as well. It's not just, we've got a few quid to spend, let's go and buy someone who's going to score. They've got to buy into the project, and certainly from Wrexham's point of view, they've most certainly done that.
Well, newly fashionable Wrexham have sold out the racecourse this lunchtime. 10,000 here, not quite the 34,000 plus that saw the Busby Babes win 5-0 here in the FA Cup back in 1957. We'll be back in a moment as the teams take to the pitch.
To belong to a small nation is a particular honour.
64 years and counting since we qualified for the last World Cup.
These special times for you when you look back on your career.
We're a small country, we're the underdog. We've seen highs and lows over the years. Absolute tragedy.
It's a huge, huge moment in our careers.
You get goosebumps looking back and thinking about it now.
It's a Hollywood script that you wouldn't believe.
The 10th and final episode in our Against the Odds series is the story of Wales' qualification for the World Cup, their first in 64 years. It features exclusive interviews with Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, Rob Page and two of the 58 side. Monday, ITV4 at 9. Talking of the World Cup, 2 weeks today till the action gets underway in Qatar. We'll have live coverage of Wales' first game as they take on the USA on the second day of the tournament. Before that, more live football later this afternoon. National League side Torquay played Derby. That follows immediately in the Cup after the game here at Wrexham. And tomorrow night we're at Bracknell Town from the 7th tier of the pyramid. They take on Ipswich Town. We'll have the company of Ian Wright and Darren Bent in Berkshire, and also the second round draw. Before we focus back here on Wrexham, I thought for a minute Mickey was going to run round the pitch when we talk about Wales in the World Cup. What does it mean to you? Because you play with, including yourself, some brilliant footballers for Wales who never played in the World Cup. Ian Rush, Mark Hughes, etc., etc.
Yeah, without doubt. I know now they've got the opportunity. I can't wait for it. I really am confident. And they're in a good group. Obviously, US first game, but looking at the England game, Iran are the dark horse. I think Iran are a very good footballing side, so we have to be careful then. But I'm confident to make the next stage of the competition.
It feels a bit incongruous talking about the World Cup 2 weeks today, but that's the world we live in, Joby, and the countdown is very much on.
It is very much on. I think it's a tournament we're all looking forward to, although there's so much football to play before we get there. But listen, I think once it does get underway, it'll be a fantastic tournament that we're all looking forward to watching. Some brilliant players and brilliant teams, really.
Back here at Wrexham, there's Joe Royal, and I think that's his son next to him to his left, giving a thumbs up. Darren, his son, who is the chief executive. So they're all here, and there's a good Oldham following in the far side as well. We've seen it today. We've seen non-stop Ronnie Radford's goal, and that was a quagmire. That was unplayable, that pitch. This pitch here, non-league pitch here, where they played non-stop, is magnificent. Credit to the groundsman.
Mark, the game's changing. Everything. This is perfect. This is a great game of football. Ronnie Radford, that pitch was unplayable, but this is perfect. Great ground as well, great footballing ground. We talk about this cop behind us to the right-hand side. Once that's complete, this is going to be a proper football ground.
I mean, it never fails to amaze me the level and depth of support in the whole of the UK for football in these Isles. It is quite extraordinary, isn't it? And the numbers and the attendances when you look at a Monday and how many people go to football at this level. Oh, Frank is here. Oh, he's given up a day's training to be here. Tremendous.
He's got his hat on.
He's got his... I'm really jealous of his hat, aren't you? Frank Rothwell, the new owner of Oldham, he's here. That's fantastic.
Yeah, great to see him here. I was surprised to hear he might not be, given that video that we saw, and again, how much he's put into the club, not just financially, but speaking to a couple of the players at Oldham, the investment in the infrastructure behind the scenes. And listen, this is a fantastic day for him, and I'm sure he's hoping it goes really, really well.
And as I was saying about the depth of following and feeling for football at all levels across the British Isles is amazing, isn't it?
It is, and it's the history that we have at these football clubs. We talk about iconic moments in the game, whether it be FA Cup moments, or it be, league football that people like Mickey have really been involved in. And they're the moments that these fans remember. There'll be fans here that were here that day, Mickey, that clearly remember.
Yeah, without doubt, the players in the tunnel now, they're really excited. They want to get to the next round. Obviously the third round is their target, obviously when the big teams come into play, but this is a great day for them.
And that's what this tournament does, Mike. It's those moments, special moments that can live forever. You know, we saw it with Ballroom Run last year.
Absolutely.
And these boys will be hoping to create some of that today.
Oh, there are about 500,000 said they were here the day Mickey scored the free kick. You know the way it is. Here come the teams then. It's terrific. We've got England-Wales coming up in the World Cup soon. We've got England-Wales today as well in the FA Cup. Looking forward to it very much here from North Wales. In a few moments' time, it's kick-off. Before kick-off today and across many of the FA Cup matches this weekend, a chance to mark Remembrance Day, which is on Friday, with a show of respect for those that have made the ultimate sacrifice, serving their country.
They shall go as we go. They shall not ready them, not negotiate them. After going down sun and in the morning, we will rally them. 1 minute silence will begin and the sound of the referee's whistle.
So commentary on this FA Cup tie comes from Andros Townsend and Sam Matterface.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, everyone. The FA Cup is famous for those that cause the biggest upsets, the giant killers, the super shockers, and between them, Oldham and Wrexham have had their moments. Wrexham's against Arsenal 30 years ago. Oldham more recently 10 years back when they knocked out the Liverpool of Sterling, Suarez and Steven Gerrard. Television stars may have raised the global standing of Wrexham in the last few years, but what they and Oldham want is to keep alive the hope of a Hollywood tie later down the line. So you have a chance of that. Wrexham and Oldham have to negotiate the first round proper. Wrexham powered by birthday boy Paul Mullin. Oldham with the return of Hallam Hope, flying in training according to David Unsworth, and back in the team for the first time since an attack outside Boundary Park at the beginning of the season. Oldham has certainly been better at negotiating round one of this competition than Wrexham have in recent years. But there's no doubt as to who are the favourites, and Andros Townsend, who knows what it's like to walk out on the hallowed turf of Wembley in an England jersey and play in an FA Cup quarter-final, is alongside me. How do Oldham stop this game following the Wrexham script?
Well, I think these two sides played at the beginning of last month, and although Oldham lost in the later stages of that game, David Unsworth will be wanting more of the same. I think that's the best I've seen them under Unsworth in terms of patient in possession, breaking the lines, breaking through the thirds, and limiting a free scorer in Wrexham side to very few chances. So the players will be going into this game full of confidence based on that performance alone.
Lots of connections in the two teams from players and managers past. Mark Cooper's son Charlie fouled by Rob Lee's son Elliot in the opening exchanges here at the racecourse ground, where the atmosphere is terrific. Wrexham are so famous nowadays that the ITV cameras aren't the only ones that are focusing on this game today, because of the association of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. This match, like their last two in the FA Cup, being broadcast in America as well. The two teams scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Here's Mullen. Maynard. Cooper. Well defended by Ben Tozer, who is wearing that headband after a whack that he got in the game against Maidenhead last week. Ford looking for a delivery into the box, which was met by Dalby, who's in the team in place of Ollie Palmer today.
Yeah, good work. Wrexham worked it out wide. Good cross into the box. Not an easy chance, but good early sign that Wrexham are going to take the game to Oldham here.
Good technical player is Sam Dalby. He mainly used as a sub this season. He's been pretty patient, as Phil Parkinson said in the build-up to the game. Picked up from Southend in the summer. He was their top scorer last campaign. Wrexham moved up to within a point of Notts County at the top of the National League table in midweek. Very tight at the top there, and the prize for finishing top, getting out of the league, which they've spent probably far too much time in.
So tough to get out of the National League though, isn't it? One team go up automatically, the rest are in the playoffs. It's such a tough league to get out of, and Wrexham, with all the wealth they have now, are finding that, just like Salford did a few years ago.
Finding Elliot Lee. The space out wide for McFadzean. This is Mullen. McFadzean once again. Wrexham quite happy to commit a lot of players forward in every attack.
Wrexham do that really well, with Young dropping off to get the ball from the back three, and Elliot Lee really is the offensive midfielder and gets into some nice pockets.
Here he is again. Mullen lurking on the edge of the penalty area. He just lost his foot in. McFadzean's cross is going to be easily gobbled up by the Oldham goalkeeper, Luke Byler.
Yeah, again, that's a key feature of Wrexham's side. Like I said before, with Young and being the one to drop off, and Jamie Jones being the one to drop off and get the ball from the defence. And Elliot Lee's always looking, always in between the pockets and on the half turn, and looking to really bridge the gap between the defence and the strikers.
When these two sides did meet in the league last month at Boundary Park, Oldham, probably inspired by a bit of new manager bounce and a big crowd, took the lead early on and held the lead for quite some time as well. They ran out of legs towards the end of that match. They felt they should have beaten Wrexham, but there was no doubt that Wrexham got better after the break, made good changes. It's a fascinating encounter between the two, which Wrexham won in the last few minutes of added time.
And I think on that day as well, that's the most comfortable I've seen Oldham in possession. James Carragher, who was Unsworth's first signing, got injured not long after that game, but he was one really brave in possession, wrapping some balls into the midfield and really getting Oldham to play the way David Unsworth and John Everall would want them to play moving forward. love how patient Wrexham are in possession. They don't force things. If the pass into midfield's not there, they will just keep it round the back. They'll make this front two of Oldham work as hard as possible, and in the end they wear teams down, and they're looking to do that here again today.
Jordan Clark with a challenge from behind, which yielded the free kick. Jones tries to power through, but it was a blind alley and cleared into the arms of goalkeeper Mark Howard. This is Young. Elliot Lee. A bit of a heavy touch from Young, which invited a bit of pressure.
But they're brave enough to do it, and they'll give him the ball next time because they trust him, and that's what's so impressive about this Wrexham side. Yes, they're a National League side, but they play like they're in the Championship and League One and even beyond that. So it's really impressive watching this Wrexham side play.
I was talking to Phil Parkinson this week, and he was suggesting, you know, in the National League, you do have to have several modes of play. You can't just always play out from the back. You have to be able to do that because that's the principles that he wants to display. But you've also got to be able to go long as well every now and again, and you've got to be able to mix it with the physical teams in the league as well.
Yeah, and we played against Boreham Wood last season in the quarter-final of the FA Cup.
Given away cheaply to Jones, and Oldham on the back foot here. This is Ford. And immediately red shirts flooding into the box. Dolby sets it back. Jones tries to tuck it back to him. Might come for Young. There was a bit of a collision, which was pretty hefty, but Sheeran managing to get it away.
Yeah, we played against Boreham Wood last season in the FA Cup quarter-final. We were so surprised at how well they did play, because watching non-league when I was a kid, it was all back to front, long ball, but now they're starting to play, and it's evident in that Boreham Wood side and this Wrexham side here today.
It's Elliot Lee. Touch from Mullin, maybe didn't quite come off, but Lee's got it back again, and that's a really good touch into Mullin, and a chance which is deflected over the top for the first corner of the game.
He really is their key man, Elliot Lee. He's such a beautiful player. Just gets into pockets that's very hard to pick up, and he's got the end product. He's got the technique to pull off skills like that as well. He really is their key man.
Scored twice on his debut in August.
This is like a penalty for Wrexham. So good from corners.
Stab played in FA Cup finals. This is Young with the delivery towards that far post, and Tozer didn't get on the end of it. They are very effective from set pieces, as you say. And the other night when they played against Maidenhead in midweek, they had several opportunities from them before eventually getting their goal.
And Hayden, the goal scorer on that night, he could have had an hat-trick. So many opportunities that he got his head on and was unlucky on one or two occasions. But yeah, it really is a key feature for Wrexham.
Tozer going for a long throw. They're also pretty effective from these. Heading towards that near post area, flicked on, and it almost fell for Mullin. Comes back out to Young, who strikes it. Travelled a long way, comes back out, and it's tucked in by Dolby. Spilt by the goalkeeper, and Sam Dolby, who comes in for Ollie Palmer today, takes less than 10 minutes to get on the score sheet.
Yeah, this is why Wrexham are towards the top of the table in the league, because not only do they have technical players, but they have long throw-ins, they have corners. There's so many ways this Wrexham side can break you down, and it must be so frustrating for opposition when you limit them to a few chances in a game, and they'll just launch in a long throw and score off the second ball.
Definitely onside. Maynard just dropping back and playing him onside as that initial shot comes in from Young. But Dolby was hungry to the second chance. And Luke Weiler, who is making his first appearance in the first team since the end of April last year, will not want to see too much of that again.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed, but I think it came through a lot of bodies. I don't think he saw it until the last minute in his defence, but yeah, he'd like to do a lot better there. But when you play the top sides, no matter what division you're in, you kind of allow the well deal. If Elliot Lee scores from 25 yards, you kind of accept that. But what you do say is they can't score from a set piece. But with this Wrexham side, they have the quality, they have the firepower to score the 25-yard and score from set pieces as well. So it must be so hard to defend against.
Well, you saw David Unsworth there, who took over from John Sheridan in September. He has won just one of his first 7 games in charge. An FA Cup winner in his time at Everton. Part of the defence that famously kept Manchester United quiet in that 1995 FA Cup final. Crossed by Kitchen towards the far post, and he was trying to find Clark, who was coming in round the back. As well defended by Wrexham. This is Tunnicliffe trying to get it clear and successfully doing that.
It can be so easy when you're on a bad run just to, you can see an early goal to think, oh, here we go again. We're on our way to another defeat. But like I said at the start of the game, these Oldham players need to just keep thinking back to that performance against Wrexham at the start of last month and how well they played and how resolute they were, and have the confidence that they can do it again, even though they're starting from a 1-0 deficit today.
Kitchen, another new face that David Unsworth has managed to bring to the club since taking over. Onto Tollett, who is a danger, and there was a little deflection there which the goalkeeper Howard had to be a little bit careful with.
Yeah, I think Tollett is Oldham's key man.
Look at that dispatch right upfield towards Mullin, who had just strayed. But there's the example of them mixing it up and not being afraid to go long when necessary.
Yeah, it must be a nightmare to play against, because they do have that route, they do have the physical presence up front if they do need to turn them around. But here's Tollett here, he's their danger man, he's their Elliot Lee, he's their spark. They need to get him the ball. Him and Kitchen need to get a good understanding together and help Oldham get back into the football match. So comfortable in possession, Wrexham.
Has been a bit of a rebuilding job since David Unsworth walked through the door. He noticed a lot of areas of the club needed a bit of love, care and attention. Felt as if it had been neglected for quite some while. Good work from Howard with his feet. Young sweeping it forward. Mullen trying to play in Lee, who's got hold of him. Derby has made a run into the centre. Mullen.
When you're playing against a low block, which Oldham have resorted to in these early stages, the free man, the way that kills Oldham is to switch a play, which is on this occasion out to forward. Can you get the ball from the left side to forward as quick as possible to unsettle the resolute 2 blocks of Oldham?
Wrexham are pretty adept at doing just that. This is Elliot Lee into Young. Hayden, who with his goal total would have been the top scorer for Wrexham in each of the last 2 seasons, and he isn't finished yet.
I've played Jordan Clark many times coming through the academy at Spurs when he was at Coventry, so I've been on the end of a tough challenge from him on many occasions. And he does like a tackle.
Well, another free kick and a first yellow card of the game for Jordan Clark. It's a very early yellow card for someone who's going to be up against Elliot Lee for a lot of the game.
He's an experienced player, many games in the Football League, so I'm sure he's been in this situation many times before.
Young is going to take charge of this free kick. Mullin, Tozer
Hayden, all up from the back, it's over Hayden's head, Maynard away. Jones to keep things moving for Wrexham. Hayden up there, leaping so well. I mean, that was a ball really, he didn't have much right to get anywhere near, but he has got such a huge leap.
He has, and that was another good delivery in from Young. But unfortunately on this occasion, a lot of the big hitters went to the near post and nobody went to the far.
Kitchen. Tollett trying to look for the return and getting the return. Getting in behind Ford and teeing the ball back up. This is neat football from Oldham and a decent effort which claim came off a hand, and Rooney was pretty strident about that.
This is what they need to do more. They need to get the ball into wide areas, get Tollett creating. When you don't see much of possession and you get an opportunity, you really need to make it count. So this is a big opportunity for Oldham to get themselves back into the game.
So it hit the top of his arm, but I would suggest the arm was pretty close to the body.
And way too close in proximity to the ball as well.
It's below the t-shirt line, that's for sure. Goalkeeper comes and gets there. Lee holding off the challenge from Cooper.
Thankfully today we won't be speaking about VAR, which is a nice change.
I won't get you in trouble by asking your opinion.
We haven't got enough time.
Change of footwear. Referee today, by the way, is Samuel Barrett, took charge of 16 games already this competition. Clark. Kitchen.
Oldham really need a spell here. They really need to get a foothold into the game to have sustained possession, sustained attacks to get themselves back into this game.
The wrestling going on involving Sheeran and Paul Mullin. It's generated yet another free kick, and that's not what Oldham want to be giving away.
No, definitely not, and as well it's so avoidable, so needless. He's going nowhere there, he's in a wide area, there's no need to give a Wrexham side with the ammunition they have an opportunity to get another ball into the box. And 9 times out of 10, Young does put it on the money.
Tozer and Hayden both trying to jostle for position. It's Hayden who's going to get there, pulling off towards the back edge of the area. Tunnicliffe. The goalkeeper this time comes and claims rather successfully.
They need to slow it down, Oldham, when they do get possession, they do get hold of the ball. They can't keep turning the ball over to Wrexham as soon as they get it. They may not see it for another 5 minutes.
Wrexham beat Maidenhead in the week, and they're traditionally a club that Wrexham have struggled against. Well, being Wrexham manager is a little bit different to Phil Parkinson's previous jobs. Colchester, Bradford, Bolton, even Sunderland didn't come with the necessity of wearing a microphone, recording your every word. He does say he's got used to it. The players
it's a massive opportunity
embrace
for him,
the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a massive opportunity for him. He's obviously not used to being at this level, but it's an opportunity to to be part of history for Wrexham. They're obviously a club going places, and he wants to be there. He wants to be the man to take them through the leagues, and he definitely has the credentials and the CV to do that.
Would you be happy to wear a Y?
No.
Jones.
It must be nice for the Wrexham as a whole, as a city, to get some recognition, to get some airtime. But as a player, it must get tiring to always know that you're being recorded. You're wanting for interviews every other day. It must get tiring when all you want to do is just play football, do what you love.
Jones. It's Clark's header. This is Young. Good feed by Jones. Being followed by Rooney. Lee wandering away from Clark, driving through midfield. He's got options on this near side. Ford wanted the ball, now has it. Young again. Mullin drops into a number 10 position. Fancian, who gets high up on that left-hand side and is not afraid to try and jostle with Clark. He's done really well here. Into Mullin, wide again. Jones, Tunnicliffe, comes back to Fancian, cleared off the line. Brilliant work from Sheeran.
You can tell Wrexham is such a well-drilled team. On the one occasion that Elliot Lee drops into a midfield position, who drops into that pocket, the number 10 position? Mullin, the centre forward, drops in, turns, and ends up getting Wrexham a shot on goal. Very good anticipation that from Sheeran, else it would have been 2-0 to Wrexham and a very long way back from Oldham from there.
He's played every minute of the 17 games he started this season. He is the nephew of Mike Sheeran, who played for Manchester City, Stoke and Queen's Park Rangers a generation ago.
But another very good opportunity from Wrexham here. You can tell these are training ground set pieces, the way they set up, the way they work it. I'd be interested to see what they can pull out the bag here.
It's a hell of a distance out for Young to strike from here. Strike he will.
That definitely wasn't from the training ground.
Mullin stretching for it but not reaching it. Maybe a chance quickly on the turnover for Timmy Abraham to break. Haven't seen much of the ball so far, but did just get a little sighted goal.
He was very impressive on his debut the other day, Timmy Abraham. Just situations like this, trying to make something out of nothing. He's been very isolated today. He was very isolated on that day, and they'll be looking at him. Look, can he get them up the pitch? Can he force something out of this Wrexham back three, back five?
David Unsworth did describe Timmy Abraham as a breath of fresh air since he came into the club. He signed on the 28th of October. Here is Mullin at the other end. Still going, Mullin. Oh, it's another brilliant goal from him. Goal number 14 of the season. Not quite as stunning as the overhead kick he got the other week against Oldham, but certainly the perfect way to celebrate his birthday.
Yeah, from defence to attack for Wrexham in less than 5 seconds. Timmy Abraham goes down one end, has a pot shot or goal, and within 10 seconds, the ball's in the back of Oldham's net, and it is a long way back now. Just onside is a long way back now, and Mullin, who's been prolific this season, looks very confident when he gets in these areas, and a composed finish and gives the keeper the eyes.
25 minutes gone. And the National League's top scorers are proving exactly how deadly they can be.
And it's another goal against what you'd expect from a Wrexham side. Route one, the goalkeeper, long ball, seconds, and the ball's in the back of the net.
Here's Clark at the other end. And there was a big chance. Taken a deflection and gone out for a corner. That would have been the perfect way to respond to that second setback.
Yeah, again, it's Tollin working his magic in wide areas, trying to force the issue, trying to make stuff happen, but it's nothing more than a pot shot from Jordan Clark, and it's another opportunity here from the corner for Oldham to get back into it.
It's in by Rooney. It's going to be an easy check for Howard.
You can see Oldham from set pieces, they're trying to put it on top of the goalkeeper, trying to get a lot of bodies in the goalkeeper's eyesight.
Ford, bounding forward. It wasn't the greatest of clearances initially. That might be a little bit too much for even Mullin to get to. Well, the racecourse ground is bouncing for a reason, isn't it?
Took the words out of my mouth. Great stuff from Wrexham to start this game. In full control, very good in the pockets in between the lines of the midfield and defence of Oldham, but their two goals have come from a long throw and a long goal kick.
They are on such a terrific run here. 10 successive wins in all competitions before today. It's their best home run since 1920. Last week they were very impressive against Altrincham.
People talk about the crowd being a 12th man, but I can tell you it really does make a difference on days where maybe you don't start well and the crowd are bouncing like Wrexham have been from the start. It really does give you that extra boost, the extra confidence.
Slightly iffy moment there for Mark Howard, who acknowledges his mistake. Tozer once again taking charge of a potentially tricky situation. Former Northampton and Newcastle player who was part of the famous Northampton team that knocked Liverpool out of the League Cup 12 years ago at Anfield.
I'll be very surprised if Tollett doesn't start drifting inside and getting a bit closer to Abraham. Abraham's very isolated at the minute, and with Tollett being the main man, you probably want him in more central areas, getting on the ball, getting into pockets, getting turned, and combining with the front man.
Hayden. Jones. A bit short for Hayden, who's going to step in past Abraham anyway. Ford. It's a little bit lucky as he gets it back. Good work from Pope initially, but Tunnicliffe did manage to react. Well, there is Frank Rothwell. He is probably about as diametrically opposite to Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney as you can get. But he has helped breathe new life into Oldham, a club that had lost its way terribly. And he is Frank by name and Frank by nature. He said rather playfully during our interviews this week about his opposite numbers at Wrexham, I don't know who the hell they are. And there was a little glint in his eye as he said, I know they're film stars, but when they decide they've had enough and sell it, Wrexham will disappear. That won't happen to Oldham. Just a little gentle stoking of the Flyers before the game.
Yep, and watching the documentary, Wrexham, it seems like the owners are in it for the long haul. So, yeah, I know maybe in the past that's happened with owners coming and going, but these guys really do look like they want to build a super team.
He also said he'd never seen anything with the two guys in. Who hasn't seen a Ryan Reynolds film? Jones. Well run back by Clark and helped on to Rooney. There's a little bit of space down the right-hand side for Hope, but Abraham is trying to take it on himself. Tozer has got a touch on that. It's a corner.
You know, on the face of it, Abraham's not really had much joy, but I think he's won 2 or 3 corners for his team, and he's doing the best that he can with what he's got to work with. He's very isolated against 3 centre-backs, and he's won 2 or 3 corners, which is the most he can hope for at this stage.
Rooney to take the corner once again.
Again, a lot of bodies in that 6-yard box, looking to put it on top of the goalkeeper.
Tonet has come short, just in case. Cooper's on the edge of the box. Maynard has spun round the back, and he's going to get the header towards goal. Tozer away, comes back to the edge of the box, and Kitchen didn't really grab hold of it.
Another half chance from Oldham from outside the box. What they've been reduced to at the moment. Very well worked. Thought he was going into the 6-yard box with all the bodies, but pills round the back post. Yeah, again, another pot shot, half chance that doesn't connect at all well.
Problem here for Anthony Ford, who is receiving a little bit of treatment. Playing at right wing back today, just getting a little bit of manipulation in his right knee. We do have alternatives in Bryce Susanna, who hasn't started since the original tie in the last round against Blythe Spartans, but is regularly used off the bench.
Doesn't look good, does it?
It's not the only live football we've got for you today on ITV. A little bit later on, 2:40, we'll be at Plainmoor, Torquay United against Derby County in the FA Cup first round. And tomorrow night we're at Bracknell, 6:55 p.m. We're starting over on ITV4, and the visitors are high-flying Ipswich Town, who Andros knows quite well.
Yes, one of my many clubs on loan.
More loans to the Building Society, you. End of the day for Anthony Ford. It's an early end to his FA Cup first round experience. Is a like-for-like switch.
I'll be disappointed for him. Big occasion, FA Cup first round live on TV. Sure, all his family, friends and family will be watching. Have to go off after half an hour. Yeah, I'll be bitterly disappointed for him.
Sheeran. Difficult for Oldham to try and get back into this game. They selected a back five today, really, with the wing-backs Kitchen and Clark, mainly because of injuries to arguably their two best defenders.
I think the problem for Oldham at the moment is not controlling the front two, it's getting a body around Luke Young. So much time and space when he gets the ball to dictate the play and really get Wrexham playing. And I think it was a similar situation the other day when they played Halifax. Luke Summerfield in midfield, the holding midfielder, really did run the game for Halifax. And
controlled by Hayden.
Normally when you play a two up front, maybe one of the strikers drops in on the deep line midfielder, but with Timmy Abraham playing on his own, it's pretty much impossible. So no one's really been able to get close to either Luke Young or James Jones in those two holding midfield positions.
A little bit of Hollywood auditioning.
That's a centre half as well.
Sheeran. I do wonder if it hadn't have been for his goal line block, how many more there might have been. Clark. Tollett wants the ball in the centre. Starting to drift infield. He was tugged back there by Jones.
Yeah, I think that's what he needs to do more, Tollett. He needs to trying to find ways he can get the ball. Don't wait out on the left and let the ball come to him. He's the main man. He needs to drift wherever he feels like the ball is going to go. Can he get on it? Can he get turned like he did there? And can he win free kicks? Can he hold him up the pitch?
I don't know if you noticed this when you were watching their games, but he tends to drift infield and act almost like a box in behind the striker alongside, well, it's Hope today, but there are other alternatives to him. But they play sort of as tight to the striker as possible. It's difficult for David Unsworth because he's got new recruits coming in all the time to try and drive the club forward.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, that's where Tollett is best, in the pockets, getting close to the striker, being a real playmaker for this Oldham team.
And certainly they feel as if they've got a good group of players, but there is the odd occasion when they can be a little bit nice. It's fine off the pitch, but David Unsworth wants to be a little bit more nasty, a bit horrible to play against. He wants the opposition to hate playing against his team.
And I think you've got a good balance there with David Unsworth having that philosophy, and John Ebbrell, the coach, being completely the opposite. He'll be working on possession, intensity, a lot of fitness work on the training pitch. I had him for a few weeks at Everton.
Lee.
Yeah, we had him for a few weeks at Everton when Duncan Ferguson took charge for a few games, and John Ebbrell did most of the coaching. Very forward-thinking coach.
Tollett driving forward. Kitchen. He's got Abraham waiting in the centre. It's a little bit heavy, that cross, but it was just about dealt with by McFadden.
Better from Oldham though.
Ozana now with a chance to bound forward for the first time since coming on. Mullen. Jones, space for Elliot Lee, too much space, drifting past Maynard, blocked in the end by Okabu. Tunnicliffe. Mullen looking for Lee again, Maynard this time intercepting and judging where the ball was about to go, but they very quickly have shifted it back to the home side.
The problem is, though, for Oldham, the more foothold they get into the game, the more bodies they commit forward, the more space it does leave Wrexham to counter-attack. And on a couple of occasions when Oldham have got bodies into Wrexham's final third, you're seeing Wrexham counter-attack and almost score down the other end, and on one occasion scoring down the other end.
Ozana. behind Jones on this occasion. Tollett's picked it up. Stopped by Hayden before it can reach Kitchen, who had bounded down that left-hand side. David Unsworth had felt as if since they won the Yeovil game, they've been in quite tight games all the way through. They're not particularly good form, especially on their travels. They picked up 1 point from their last 5 away league matches. They've got the worst away form in the National League, so not too much of a surprise that this game is heading in Wrexham's direction. But this game has sort of crept away from them a little bit easier than maybe they would have hoped. Young from distance. Wasn't too far away. Luke Viola was a little bit concerned.
And again there, look how much time and space Young does have on the ball. You see Timmy Abraham, it's not really his job, he's the striker, but you can see he's making a last-ditch attempt to close Young down. But he manages to get the shot off, and if you give him that time and space on 1 or 2 more occasions, you may find the ball in the back of your net again.
He's been quite productive over the last few weeks as well, Young. His set pieces are pretty good, 3 assists in his last 3 games. He did score in the bonkers 7-5 win over Barnet. They are often involved in high-scoring games, Wrexham.
They're a Hollywood team, aren't they? Definitely been better from Oldham though the last 10-15 minutes. Starting to get more territorial possession in Wrexham's half and sustain attacks and get Tollett onto the ball, get turned, get bodies, get Hope closer to Abraham. That'll give him a crumb of hope going into the second half.
David Unsworth will be desperate to get Liam Hogan back. Broke his foot in August. He's been back in training after shedding his protective boot a fortnight ago, easing his way back to first team action. Gay's been out with a back problem, which they hope they've solved now. Those two integral. Cooper dawdling on the ball just a little bit and allowing it to run, and Mullin might get away here, but it's going to be pulled back for a foul, and a foul born out of frustration, I think.
Yeah, very frustrating at the moment for Oldham. Like I said, they've grown into this game. That was another good attack where they got bodies into the final third of Wrexham, but so resolute with the back. The beauty of the 3 at the back is when you're up against it, when your opposition have possession, you can very easily drop into a 5 and deny the opposition of any real space in between the lines or in behind, and Wrexham did it perfectly there. They just create a block of 5 and Oldham couldn't break them down.
Dolby fouled from behind by Clark.
Another one that's going straight into the box.
Luke Young standing over it, orchestrating his troops. Hayden up from the back.
2 arms up generally means somebody's going around the far. I may be wrong.
Now Tozer is at that back post, and as we enter 3 minutes of stoppage time, another chance for Wrexham. It's in towards that 6-yard box. Maynard managed to get it away. Elliott pressing high up. Clark away into Cooper. This is a little bit behind Hallam Hope. Doesn't see much of the ball in his return to action.
I can't tell you how difficult it is, no matter what level, to consistently put the ball into a dangerous area from a set piece, but Luke Young seems to get it on the money every single time.
Hosanna away. Maynard. Forward by Lee. Bit of space for Mullin, who's peeled out on this right-hand side. A heavy touch, and across comes Sheeran and puts it out in the way for a throw-in.
Another nice little touch from Lee. Worked out to the right side this time, but unlucky there. Bad first touch, but they've got another goal-scoring opportunity from this long throw-in, I would imagine.
Tozer comes across, the ball boy hands him a towel to dry the ball so he gets a firmer grip.
On your left shoulder.
Could be the last action of the first half. Akabu with the header away. Down by Elliot Lee, again allowed to turn. It's still going, it's blocked. Comes out on the edge of the box. Kitchen trying to break. Tammy Abraham calling for an early ball. Hopes got it on this near side. Rooney had made a really good run on the far side and didn't get delivery of the ball.
So easy to see from up here though, isn't it?
Well, he had two brief spells in charge of Everton. Donald Koeman and Sam Allardyce in 2017. He was a caretaker at Preston, but this is his first permanent managerial job. He said he likes working round the clock to solve problems, which is a pretty good job when you are a football manager, because that's the life.
I think he needs time. He will need time, him and John Ebrell, to really get their way of playing, get their philosophy across to the players, but unfortunately you don't have time for those things.
Well, Wrexham have a decent home record against Oldham, and clearly it is in the script to preserve it. An 11th successive win at the Racecourse Ground in the offing after goals from Sam Dolby and John Mullin in that first 45 minutes. And unless Oldham can find a way of turning it around, it looks like it's going to be Wrexham that are heading through into round two. Analysis on the way in the next few minutes, but at half-time, it is Wrexham 2, Oldham Athletic 0.
Wrexham 2-0 up here at half-time. Sam Dolby with the first in the 10th minute, and then a very good goal from Paul Mullin, his 14th of the season, 14 in 20 games. And the Welsh side 2 to the good at half-time. And I think the scoreline, Mickey, reflects what is a well-coached, cohesive Wrexham side, doesn't it?
A very good 45 minutes for Wrexham. They played well. The second goal from Mullin shows what he's about. Oldham really haven't offered anything at this moment in time. The next goal in this game is crucial. Wrexham get it, it could be anything.
They look really comfortable with the way they're playing, the way they're set up, don't they, Wrexham?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, listen, if there was a script that was going to be written by the owners, that's pretty much how I would have went. Really comfortable, threat, of course, in those forward areas, but really, really organised and solid behind the ball as well.
Let's have a look at the goals, and the first of them in the 10th minute. When we have a look at this one, Mickey, Luke Young, the captain's got all the time in the world on the edge of the box to have a touch, bring it down and have a shot.
Yeah, not closing down Oldham there. He gets a shot. Goalkeeper could have done a lot better there, and a simple tapping.
Credit Dolby for anticipating, though. Obviously it comes through bodies, but you can see there, you know, way too much space. They're obviously really occupied with that front post area, and it has been a threat for them with Tozer's long throws, which are very, very dangerous. But you can see there as it comes through, Sam Dolby, as we always see, the striker being the one who anticipates and gets a tap in. You know, coming into the team today, he'd be absolutely delighted to get himself on the score sheet.
I mean, the defenders are almost going the other way, Mickey, aren't they? Like the goalkeeper's going to have this one, but
yeah,
always told, aren't you, as a defender, expect the worst.
Yeah, and you quite rightly said, the striker reacts quicker than the defender, gets the goal, and that was a bad defensive play by Oldham. They paid the ultimate price.
We talked about Paul Mullen before the game. Actually, the second goal, Timmy Abraham had just had a shot wide. Here, long goal kick, not dealt with, but the rest from Mullen is excellent.
This is great. I thought maybe he could have hit it first time, but this guy has got everything about him. He's a clever footballer, and he's got a good footballing brain. Brings it inside and dispatches it to perfection.
I think that's the key point in it. We spoke about it, Mickey.
Yeah,
I think the difference, you know, maybe offside, you know, real tight one.
No, he's onside.
But the big difference, again, you'll see a lot of strikers in this league probably snatch at that. They think that's the opportunity. You know, he's clearly a striker playing levels below what he should be, and that composure, certainly the goals he's scored, he takes that extra touch, gets himself into an area, gives the keeper the eyes.
That reflects the level at which he's played, doesn't he?
Absolutely, and I think that's the big difference in those forward areas.
14 goals as well now, that in 20 games. Great return from a striker. And he's a man in form, and every time he gets that ball, you know he's going to go for a goal. Class act.
We should say no VAR today. Pre-VAR, we'd have had a look at that line and gone, well, the advantage is with the attacker, that's what we want.
How it should be.
Let's go back to the old days, just for today.
I agree.
Anyway.
I definitely agree with that, Mark.
So the two goals then, one from a throw-in and one from a goal kick. Actually, the best move of the match was a fantastic move, and Callum McFadzean started it and very nearly finished it. This is football of the highest quality.
It is, and I think we've seen, as we said before the show, the two sides of Wrexham, a threat from set pieces, but once they get in these forward areas, look at that, you know, really intricate play, and he's obviously started it, gets his shot off. Good bit of defending there, actually, from Sheeran on the line, but really, really good bit of play, good football. Fantastic to see.
Yeah, I think what David Unsworth now, and that's dressing, what he's got to do is get back in the game. He can't afford to concede another goal, so it's a big team talk in there for him. You know, they have to get a goal to get back in the game.
There hasn't really been any thread, particularly to the Oldham game, has there? That's the truth.
They struggle. There's not been real any rhythm, has there? So they struggle in the game, and you know, one or two half chances, but not enough quality in that final third that Wrexham have.
Having said all that, maybe get a set piece or whatever, get a goal, get a bit of wind in their sails, and you never know from the Oldham point of view.
No, I think they just want to see a little bit more desire, you know, to go and try and win the game, or at least get back in the game at 2-0. You know, we say it can be a dangerous score. There's nothing to lose now. You know, it's the FA Cup. Go out, have a real good goal in the second half, and he's saying try and get that goal and get back in the game.
Wrexham 2-0 up here at half-time. As things stand, they will be in the second round draw tomorrow evening. They want to go up, of course, that's a priority, getting back into the Football League. But to have a really good cup run, that's always a very good thing. This is the first of an FA Cup double here today on ITV. As soon as Wrexham Oldham is over, we'll be down on the south coast with Laura Woods, Michael Johnson and Ian Holloway for Torquay Derby. Then tomorrow night, Bracknell Town against Ipswich Town on ITV4 with the added bonus of the second round draw. Tuesday night, ITV4, it's live La Liga action. Osasuna play Barcelona. Coverage of that one starts at 8 o'clock. So Wrexham 2 to the good here at half-time as we rejoin Andros Townsend and Sam Matterface.
Well, Oldham don't like coming to the racecourse ground. They haven't won here for 22 years since a 3-0 win in 2000 under Andy Ritchie. Was that long ago. It's going to be a change at half-time for Oldham as they try to rectify that. And the former Wrexham striker Mike Fondop, who scored a terrific goal when these two met at Boundary Park earlier in the season, comes on at the start of the second half.
Yeah, I think that needed to happen sooner rather than later. Need to get more bodies up into Wrexham's half. Can Fondop and Abraham now work together, along with Hope playing further up and Tollitt drifting off the line? Can they get more sustained attacks and possession in that Wrexham half?
Wrexham are the National League's top scorers. They have been piling them in for fun in 2022. This calendar year has seen 76 goals now in 22 and a half home games. No wonder they keep selling out.
I think the early goal really did kill any hope or momentum, confidence that Oldham did have. They would have come into this game knowing that they can keep Wrexham relatively quiet. Yes, I know they lost 2-1, but 84, 85 minutes, they kept him quiet, they kept him out, gave him very few opportunities, but when you come here on a run of bad form and concede early, you kind of get that sinking feeling, and unfortunately for Oldham, they've had that today.
Well, Jordan Tunnicliffe just complaining to the assistant on this near side about the effects of that challenge on him. He got a bit of a dead leg in the game against Maidenhead in midweek. They may want to protect him, bearing in mind that they have big games upcoming. They still will be playing when the rest of the professional game, or the top end of the professional game, certainly starts to slow down for the World Cup.
I know Fondop's been brought on for his attacking capabilities, but it'll be interesting to see if he has been told to defensively, can he drop off on Luke Young, stop Luke Young getting the ball and dictating play like he did in the first half. Him and Timmy Abraham working together in that sense, one of them dropping deep and picking up Luke Young, and one of them stretching the back three of Wrexham.
Going to be a familiar refrain from Ben Tozer, who is encouraged by the racecourse ground crowd to launch this torpedo style back into the Oldham penalty area. He obliges. Hayden goes up. He was in there too. It's cleared away. Now an opportunity to break, and Abraham is steaming forward. He's got Fondop in attack as well. And those two linking, and wasn't a bad little bit of play from Oldham. They reacted very quickly to defending that set piece and almost profited at the other end.
Yeah, that was a lot better. Timmy Abraham counter-attacking, playing into Fondop. I think he had a run on his right shoulder, Hope, that he wasn't able to see, but positive signs to start the second half.
In the absence of Clark at the start of this second half, Oldham have got Sheeran in this right-back berth. Trying to get round the back and not being able to do that.
That's better from Oldham, positive.
Rooney, little deflection, header away by Hayden, collected by Hope again. Brighter start from Oldham.
Yeah, a lot better from Oldham. Getting bodies in wide areas, getting crosses in the box. You know now there's not just one man in there, there's two players in the box to aim at, and unfortunately on this occasion wasn't able to pick one out, but positive signs heading into the second half.
They had a couple of decent set pieces in the first half. They will want to try and make this one play. Rooney looking for Maynard.
They tried that one in the first half and Maynard managed to get round the back post, but you're not fooling us twice.
Rooney. This is Sheeran. Fondop makes a run down the right-hand side. They might allow a little bit more space for Timmy Abraham. Fondop. Hope getting it out to Sheeran. This is Rooney again. Cooper, Fondop, under pressure. Doing well. Fighting for the ball, scrapping for the ball. In the end, he commits a foul, and the referee gives a free kick in Wrexham's direction. And I think the new arrival was too happy about that.
No, but again, so much better from Oldham. This is what they didn't do in the first half. They didn't sustain any attacks. They didn't camp in Wrexham's half, as they've done here in the first half, and that's good. We know that from Fondop. He fights for every ball, him and Timmy Abraham up front, so I'm sure they'll have more fight in the second half, like the guys spoke about at half-time they didn't have in the first half.
Darwin will open the scoring here in the first half. Young, space for Elliot Lee. Fancian is in support. Two to aim at the centre of the penalty area, including Mullin. Lee has committed a foul. He thinks he got the ball.
Good toss. Very harsh. Maybe slightly just missed it.
penalised. Necessarily sure that this is akin to National League standards in terms of the level of contact required for a foul. I'm sure you're used to it in the Premier League. Can't touch each other
what are you trying
anymore.
to insinuate?
Andros Townsend is alongside us in the commentary box today. How's the injury going, by the way?
Yeah, it's been a long process, as they always are, the ACL injuries, but I'd like to think I'm over the worst of it now and hopefully back at some point after the World Cup break. Just trying to keep my mind active until then.
I think we've got a spot for you on the plane. Andros, who will be part of our World Cup team. Oldham coming forward. Fondop funneling the ball back into Cooper. This is Rooney. He's shooting from distance, and it wasn't a bad effort from Rooney.
Now again, another half chance, and I think if you look at all Oldham's chances in the first half and now the second half, a lot of them have been from outside the box. I think they need to remain a bit more patient, probe a bit more, play into one of the front two, get runners off them, and work their way into the Wrexham box and then get some real sights at goal.
Well, Oldham have been dealing with the aftermath of a period of turmoil. It's not been an easy job to walk into for anyone, and Frank Rothwell, when he bought the club, was trying to revive what had been a club that had been spiralling for 4.5 years, culminating in relegation from the Football League for the first time in 115 years. The atmosphere around Oldham was toxic. Games were being interrupted. Fans displaying their frustrations with the club seemingly being run into the ground by Abdullah Lemsigam, who was very unpopular towards the end. But when he was talking, Frank Rothwell, about the opponents tonight, he was saying that they aren't the only ones with Hollywood presence in the director's box. They've got Joe Royle, he said, who you saw just over his right shoulder there. Elliot Lee. Tunnicliffe. Turning it towards Mullin. Headed away. It's back on the edge of the box, but it's going to have to be some effort. Jones there. They're not the down-and-out club that have been sold by rich movie moguls. They are a team with a little taste of success over the last 10 years as well. They're FA Trophy winners in 2013, Wrexham, trophy runners-up in 2015 and last year. And if you stretch back a little bit further into the archives, this is a club that once contested a European Cup Winners' Cup quarter-final back in 1976. So it's not all about Disney Plus.
And it's so tough to get out of the National League. Like I said before, we've only one team getting automatic promotion. So Phil Parkinson will be looking at the FA Trophy, looking at the FA Cup, watching them today and watching them over the last few weeks. They can definitely make a real dent in this competition, whether it be getting into the third round or whatever ambitions they have this season. They can definitely achieve those.
Cooper foul on the far side.
And I'll tell you what, one of those big boys in the third round definitely wouldn't want to come to the racecourse ground when it's rocking like it is now. Everton will be all right, I mean the rest.
Well, you'll be back by then. Shearer. Cooper tucking it round the corner, and Fondop using his strength to get away from Tunnicliffe. Lays it off intelligently to Sheeran. It's a decent looking cross, and Timmy Abraham with a header. Planted that brilliantly. Really good delivery.
Yeah, that's been their best sight of goal. Fondop on the right hand side using his strength, and with the two up front, Timmy Abraham hanging around that 8-yard box, and it was a great ball in, but unfortunately couldn't really direct his header either side of the goalkeeper, but good effort nonetheless.
He's quite happy to work with and without the ball. Timmy Abraham, he's yet to score his first goal for Oldham Athletic. Picked up an assist not so long ago, but he is a player who has added real attacking impetus to the team. And partnered now by Fondop, they look a little bit more of a tricky prospect for that Wrexham back line.
And as a midfielder, I can't tell you how good it is to not only have a striker who's good technically, but a striker who works hard off the ball like Timmy Abraham does. It's such a godsend for a midfield player to know that you've got that front line player working hard for you.
Backfield to Kitchen was a little bit heavy. Brother Tammy's got a busy Sunday afternoon. He's got the Rome derby later on.
I bet the atmosphere won't be as good as this one.
That's a mistake, and Mullen has escaped, so there might have been a foul in the build-up to it, which the referee has very quickly pulled the play back for.
No, not for me.
Can I take that as an Andros Townsend isn't having it?
Nah, not for me. Bought it very well.
Handball there, I hope. Referee has allowed play on. Sheeran trying to join up again. He's gone thundering into a challenge with Luke Young. Sure, Luke Young was too happy about being on the wrong end of that.
Some collision. Surprised they both jogged it off.
I mean, we're a good 40 yards away, and we could hear it crack from here.
That wasn't a great sound.
It's one of those incidents where you're pleased to be up on high.
Very much so. I normally jump out of the way of those.
Spreads it wide, and McFadzean trying to steer it into the box. Kabu was alert to the danger. Well to win it back again, Luke. Osana, first half substitute. A bit too close to the goalkeeper. The idea was right.
I think Oldham in the last few minutes are going a bit longer now. They've got the two up front, but I think it's sort of playing into the hands of the Wrexham back three. They'll take a long ball all day long, and when it does go up there, it's coming straight back.
Fondop is offside.
Yeah, looked offside, but I think that's the way through for Oldham. You can see here. Looks on there. Have you got your pen? Get your lines drawn.
We're changing your mind about VAR.
Definitely not. VAR wait 10 minutes and then still make the wrong decision.
Mike Fondop is actually fighting for his place a little bit, really, bearing in mind that Abraham has come in, plus the return of Hope as well. He has already scored twice in the FA Cup this season. He scored in both the fourth qualifying round meetings with Chester. Another long throw? Maybe not this time. Elliot Lee is the recipient instead. Dolby back to Lee. Couldn't quite get it under control, but the idea was right. That might have been one of those that were choreographed on the training ground.
Yeah, everyone so far has gone in the box, and who better to throw it short to than Elliot Lee, but on this occasion it amounted to nothing.
this one's going to go short.
Fool me once.
A little back bend to get himself ready. And then flicked on and helped on. Mullin celebrating once again. Wrexham celebrating once again. Wrexham thriving in the spotlight once again. The National League's top scorers are showing exactly why they have been so prolific all season.
Yeah, and I think it was maybe that short throw, the throw in before, which maybe dragged an extra man out and giving one less man in the box. But again, some delivery from the throw-in, and Wrexham, 2 throw-ins, 3 set pieces in total. They can literally score from anywhere. Can't tell you how demoralising that is to defend so well and concede from 3 set pieces against one of the best sides.
I think he's enjoying his birthday.
I think, like the guy said at half-time, he's clearly playing well below the standard that he is and the standard he's used to, and you saw that in his first goal, and that one was just instinct.
And here's the focal point of the attack. 30 goals last season, now 15 this season. He's paid handsomely to do it by non-league standards, but it is goals that you need if you want to emerge from this league, and Phil Parkinson certainly wants to emerge from the National League. The FA Cup is a little bit of an extra, but one that they'll quite enjoy revelling in.
Listen, they'll be very tough to beat. I know it's not an easy workload in the National League in terms of games midweek and on the weekend as well, but listen, if they've got a full 11 out and they don't suffer from injuries, they'll be tough to beat, certainly in the next few rounds.
They did get into a spot of bother by etching a political message on his boots a couple of weeks ago, Paul Mullin, but he's certainly sending a message to the rest of the National League and those in the FA Cup that he and Wrexham are going to be a force to be reckoned with throughout the course of the campaign.
I think throughout the course of the coming years as well, this Wrexham side is not a flash in the pan. They're not going away. They're only going to get stronger. The quicker that they can get into the Football League, the better for them, but they're definitely here to stay.
Kitchen winning it away ahead of Hassana. It's very quickly picked up by Young. What Oldham don't want to do is concede a fourth here. This is McFadzean, almost came through behind Dolby after Okabu just saw it squirm through his legs. Mullin's peeled away. It's a decent looking ball through that 6-yard box, which Dolby couldn't quite get on the end of.
Yeah, I think that third goal really knocked any hope that Oldham had left out of their system now.
Mullin trying to turn provider on that occasion.
It's another one coming in. And I've not been in this specific dressing room, but when you are playing a team for a long throw, you do really focus on that training pitch 2 or 3 days beforehand of going through the long throws and where each man would be. So I think David Unsworth would be bitterly disappointed that they've managed to concede from 2 long throw-ins today.
Here's the latest. Bentosa's launch into the box, punched away, comes back to Elliot Lee, bubbles around. Accusations of handball against Maynard, not entirely sure it did actually clip his hand. Tosa back into the centre, Hayden approaching it, might well drop for Elliot Lee again. Blocked by Sheeran again, who made an integral block in the first half and made a big one there.
Oldham just starting to rock again under the weight of pressure from Wrexham, who can turn up the dial. And very often
things are not going your way and you're getting frustrated. But not only good with his hand, but a great ball in as well. And like I said, a second great block from Sharon. If it wasn't for his 2 blocks, one in the first half, one now, who knows what the scoreline would be. But
Mullin from distance. And it's well saved by the goalkeeper, Luke Viola, but the touch in the build-up was pretty special too.
the problem is, back in the day when you used to play against Rory, Delap and Stoke, you used to say kick it out for a corner and not a throw-in, but you kick it out for a corner and Luke Young's putting it on a sixpence, so I don't really know what the tactic would be.
Don't put it out?
Yeah. Wrexham now needs to keep moving the ball side to side. You're in no real urgency. Move the ball side to side and really suck the life out of this Oldham team and make them keep working from side to side. And
the bad news for Oldham is that Ollie Palmer is about to come on. Another regular in the Wrexham team. Given a rest today, picked up a head injury in midweek. A couple of stitches, but seems to be okay. I was actually, I think, quite disappointed that he wasn't in from the start, bearing in mind that this game was on national television today.
Yeah, and when you're 3-0 down, what's the last thing you want to see? Another striker in good form who's hit double figures already to start this season. So it's not getting easier.
11 goals for him so far, Ollie Palmer. Scored twice against Altrincham last weekend. Hosanna being chased over on the far side by Tollett. Jones. Oldham's problem has been defending over the course of the season. Only 2 clean sheets this campaign. That is something that David Unsworth will have to work on. Like before we get the throw in, we're going to have the substitutes. Timmy Abraham is coming off, and coming on Connor Carty. Another like-for-like change.
Yeah, he's worked hard, Timmy. Again, similar to his debut the other night. Worked very hard, very isolated. Many real joy that he had was more territorial as opposed to shots on goal, as you would expect from a striker, but got his side up the pitch in the first half, won a few corners, got in some good positions, but ultimately very isolated in that first half.
Sam Dolby's coming off after scoring the opening goal, and he's going to be replaced by Ollie Palmer. Quite a sign of appreciation for his contribution today, not only with the goal, but his all-round play has been particularly good.
Yeah, he's been very good again today. Got his goal, he'll be happy as a striker. He's not had many starts this season because of obviously the deadly front two, but it's always nice when you come into the team to get a goal and to remind the manager that you're there as well if need be.
And Elliot Lee, who again has shone whenever he's been on the ball.
Yeah, he's a little magician. He gets into positions which is very difficult to pick up. Very agile, skillful. And again, a player who's probably playing below the level he's capable of.
Tom O'Connor is on to replace him. Scored in the last round against Blythe Spartans, but is more of a sitter than Elliot Lee. Corner for Oldham.
chance for Oldham to work something for Maynard, as they have in the previous few corners.
Rooney to take it. Delivers it into a decent area, and it almost fell for Fondop, who ends up falling over under a little pressure. Fondop again. Rooney. Hope. Sheeran. Rooney looking to arc one towards that far post, and it's good defending by Hayden.
They've actually put some good balls into the box, Oldham, but you're playing into Wrexham's strengths. That's another great ball, but cleared very easily.
Fondop. Tollett. Picked off by Jones. It's good football from Wrexham. Under pressure, playing out, escaping up the pitch, and doing so at pace. Hosanna. It's a lovely run by him. It goes down.
That's a penalty.
He is asking the question, and he might have every right to do so.
Yeah, looked a penalty that first viewing. Great skill, jinks in and out. Couple of step overs there. Maybe not. Maybe he's looking for it. Yeah, I'm not sure. It looked a penalty. Looked a penalty. There's one angle that showed maybe he kind of threw himself to the ground, but in that last angle, maybe it was a penalty.
See, that VAR job is not as easy as you were making out.
But they wouldn't get it right. They still get it wrong. I'd rather play continue as it has now and have the wrong decision than hold the game for 5 or 6 minutes.
Let's have a look at it again.
Can I change my mind again? I think in the slower motion you can see he's kind of fallen and left his leg out to try and hook it onto the defender. So I am going to change my mind for a 6th time. No penalty.
Luckily you're not in a position where you have to make the definitive call.
Anytime I get on a rant about VAR, please shut my mic off.
Now we're planning to let you use it for a little while, yeah. Here is McFadzean. Mullin, McFadzean, look at the space for O'Connor, who's got up on this near side. Close to a 4th. Emma sliding in, waiting to finish that off. Mullin almost got his hat-trick.
Yeah, he deserved it. Great ball in across the 6-yard box. So hard to defend against when you wrap it that quick across the 6-yard box. But unfortunately, just inches away from it. But again, another goal-scoring opportunity here from the corner.
Well, Wrexham really are getting some good attendances in this famous old racecourse ground. 9,113.
Keeper's dragged someone out of their spot on the edge of the box to get to the near post. He's clearly not happy with the setup.
I don't think the referee is too happy by what's going on the edge of the penalty area. There's a little bit of jocularity. No, he's really not happy. Corner aimed in towards Hayden again, who tried to just position himself in front of the defender.
Again, another ball on the money. I'm tired of saying it now. It's another great ball. Hayden uses his strength there. Probably not bad defending, but Hayden's just a bit stronger.
Well, it is Sunday lunchtime, and if you have heard any bad language, then we do apologise. Live event on a highly strung FA Cup encounter. Some of it may well have bled through our effects mics. Definitely was on Andros.
Yet. David Unsworth made the change at half-time. It was an attacking change to get Fondop on and get two up front, but I think what it's actually done is taken away from Tollett and his influence in the latter stages of that first half. We've drifted inside, getting on the ball and really making stuff happen for Oldham, but that really hasn't happened second half.
Osana breaking down that right-hand side, being tracked by Kitchen. Franson was stretching for it, but it was just a couple of steps behind him. And we mentioned about Tollett that some of his best work actually is almost when he plays up a little bit, almost as if he's in a box behind the strikers. He's been pushed further wide in this second 45.
And that's no problem if you can get the ball to him, but they just haven't been able to. All of their play in the second half has been on this right side. And as a winger, when you're not getting the ball, you start to drift. But with the two up front, he's obviously not been able to drift as much as he would like to.
Hope. Shearer. Now Cooper. Tunnicliffe just benefiting from the greasy surface. Slipping, but managed to keep hold of the ball. Mullin fighting with Maynard for it. Fondop might get the better of Tunnicliffe here, who used his arms a little bit. Could set it back. Did, but not with any real purpose. Carty a little bit disappointed that he didn't get that ball set nicely to him.
Yeah, but again, good strength again from Fondop. Really making, again, similar to Timmy Abraham, hopeless ball, but he's making something out of nothing. Just with his pure aggression, his strength, his will to get on the ball and try and create stuff. But yeah, the setup wasn't great.
Baby a couple of weeks ago. Honey Faith on a couple of weeks early, but certainly enjoying life as a new father. And he'll come with some sleepless nights, that is guaranteed.
It's no coincidence he's lost his place in the team just after having a kid.
Nothing fouled by Maynard. And it's going to be another set piece from which Wrexham will look to try and craft another big chance.
Big guys going up again.
Tunnicliffe, Tozer, Palmer, Mullin. All targets for Young, who can pick out a needle in a haystack. Young into Palmer. Trying to use his body to keep hold of the ball. Trying to get the better of Rooney, who did well. Big couple of weeks for both these two teams. Scunthorpe away and then Wealdstone away next for Wrexham. Barnet are the next visitors to Boundary Park for Oldham Athletic, who then go to Maidstone. Palmer trying to get round the corner, felt he was tugged to the floor by Okwubu. And Hope thrown to the floor by Luke Young.
Good aggressive play all round, didn't see a foul there, to be honest, in either of those.
That is going to be the last action, I think, for Hallam Hope, who is going to be replaced. Substitutes already on the far side. Wrexham subs coming first, and on comes Kai Evans. Debut for him, replacing Paul Mullen. Wrexham born and bred, the youngster, only 18 years of age. Debut in the FA Cup for Kai Evans. He has had a brief appearance for the first team before.
What a moment.
But a big moment live on television to play in the FA Cup for the first time. And McFadden also off. And coming on, Liam McAlinden, the former Northern Ireland international. Alan Hope has been replaced by Benny Couto, who was in line to start today, actually. His 6th appearance of the season. He came through the youth ranks at Oldham. And he himself is only 19 years of age. Fondop thinks he's onside. The referee and the assistant think he isn't.
I don't think they've done that enough. Make runs in behind the Wrexham back three. Times it just slightly wrong, but when you're playing against 3 tall centre halves that Wrexham have, you probably want to get joy down the sides of them. Can you get down the side of them? Can you get turned in behind them and make them run back the way which they don't like doing?
Couto kicks that into the air. Maynard takes charge. I mentioned earlier that Wrexham are getting good attendances here, this famous old racecourse ground, but they are in the process of trying to keep things moving along. It's been renovated quite a lot over the last few years. It's been given a spruce up, and has, over the last decade or so, hosted the Stereophonics amongst others. Here's O'Connor.
When you go 3-0 down, you have good intentions, right? I'm going to get close, I'm going to press, I'm going to close down the ball, I'm not going to give Wrexham any time on the ball, but what you actually do is you're out of position and you end up letting Wrexham have an overload somewhere else, and I think we're starting to see that now. Is not for the want of trying from Oldham, but now Wrexham are just picking them apart.
Couto has worked it wide. Tomic trying to find a way in. Again, defensively they've been very good.
Again, so much time on the ball for Luke Young. Nobody picking him up and able to really dictate the tempo of the game, really switch play and have time and space to pick whichever pass he wants. And he's got every pass in the locker.
Cooper. Fondop. It's a little bit high, but Fondop's trying to make the most of it. Rooney wanted a bit more movement, didn't get it. Sheeran, Rooney again. Couto's made a really good run down that left channel. The ball might come through towards Kartik. And it's a really good block by Tunnicliffe, who went sliding in to prevent the consolation goal.
Seemed to come from nowhere as well. Well worked from Oldham, still trying, still pushing. Comes from nowhere and gets a block on that because it was good contact.
Still committing forward, and then from the back here. That's an easy catch for Howard. Not too much to do today.
No, but I think positive for Oldham when you lose a football match, especially 3-0 as they have today, you're looking at the attitude right until the last minute. Does the team give up? Do they throw in the towel? Or do they have that fight in them? Do they continue to try and score until the last? And positive for David Unsworth, if they're still trying, they're not giving up, they're still trying to play the way he wants them to play to get back into this game.
That's Rob Langton, the sub-goalie today that you just saw a picture of. He last played against Bromley in March when he sustained a broken wrist. And he has been slowly but surely getting himself back to full fitness. Things that Phil Parkinson was quite happy about today was because you could name so many substitutes. He was able to put Harry Lennon on the bench as well, who's had back surgery and had his problems over the course of the last few months. Including those players once more is another plus point for Wrexham, who are hoping tomorrow actually to get confirmation of an extension to the stadium away to our right, the Cop Stand, which hasn't been used for a long while. Ever expanding capacity here. They haven't used all four sides of the ground for 14 years, would you believe? Good feet by McAlinden. It's aimed in towards the corner post, and Evans is chasing it. Hayden. So time for player of the match, Andros. What have you surmised?
Listen, I've been very impressed with a lot of players in this Wrexham team. Luke Young being one of them, Elliot Lee being another one, but the man of the match today for me is Paul Mullen. Obviously scored the 2 goals. The first one was beautiful, beautiful finish. Sign of a very confident player who scores goals for fun. So, yeah, my man of the match for his contributions, Paul Mullen.
The Emirates player of the match, Paul Mullen. 2 goals. His 14th and 15th of the season. And those big contributions should now see Wrexham through to round 2. And what a difference a year makes. 12 months ago today, Wrexham were knocked out by Harrogate at this stage of the competition. Or more minutes to still be played. And it is the 11th occasion already this season that Wrexham have scored 3 or more goals in a game. They are hard to live with when they are in the mood. And there's not too many teams that will want to see their name be drawn out of the hat next to Wrexham, especially not here at the racecourse ground.
And there are not many teams around that have as many different ways of scoring that Wrexham do. It really is something special to be able to have your front 2 score that many goals, but also be so deadly from set pieces, whether it be a corner, a throw-in. You've got Hayden, who's scored 8 goals this season, is he?
Yeah, 8 goals.
Really is special.
Would have been the top scorer in 2 of the last 4 seasons for Wrexham with that sort of tally. McAlinden threatened to shoot for a second.
That was his moment.
to be a 7th clean sheet of the season for Wrexham as well, which is another major plus, as well as scoring all the goals that they managed to bag.
Yeah, he's not been troubled too much, has he, the goalkeeper? The 3, the 5 ahead of him have really kept Oldham at bay. Still think give John Ebbrell time on that training pitch, he will get them there.
David Unsworth and John Ebbrell and Francis Jeffers working morning, noon and night to try and transform Oldham. They believe that it is a long-term project. They know that there is a huge amount of work to do. They said it's like turning a massive blue chip company around from the bottom to the top. There's a lot of areas of the club that have been left without the kind of attention that is required. Darren Royal, who we've mentioned a couple of times, son of Joe Royal, the FA Cup winning manager for Everton in '95, the CEO, working behind the scenes with Frank Rothwell to try and give David Unsworth all the tools that are necessary.
It's not easy when you've got the amount of games that Oldham do have in the National League to get much work on the training pitch, but I know John Ebbrell and David Unsworth and Franny Jeffers will be working those guys a lot harder than they ever have before.
Wrexham continue along the FA Cup Walk of Fame, hoping that eventually they'll bump into one of the big stars. They are now just 90 minutes away from a potential meeting with a Premier League big hitter, thanks to a spirited victory over Oldham Athletic and 2 goals from Paul Mullin, 1 from Sam Dolby. It's their 11th win in a row at the Racecourse Ground this season, and for a team that have designs on promotion and making a name for themselves, this place is becoming a fun place to be. It's 1 win in 8 now for Oldham under David Unsworth, who still haven't won away this season. But it's Wrexham who are the story once again. They've beaten Oldham Athletic by 3 goals to 0.
In the end, a very straightforward afternoon for Wrexham. Sam Dalby picking up the pieces to open the scoring in the 10th minute. And then Paul Mullin, prolific at this level. 15 for the season for him now. He got goals 2 and 3. 38 goals scored by Wrexham here at home this season. Here is Paul Mullin with Gabriel Clark.
Paul, 28 today, 3-0 win. Happy birthday.
Yeah, it was a happy birthday. You know, you don't get happy, do you, as you're getting older, but made it happy today, getting the 2 goals, but more importantly, getting through to the next round. It's a competition that we all grow up loving, to the excitement of it and what could be. So something we can look forward to now is the next draw, next round, and hopefully we can go and get a good tie and see where we can go from there.
The club's profile is being transformed, as we know, but what would a cup run mean? Just add a few chapters, add something extra.
Yeah, I think obviously everyone's going about the Hollywood feel at the moment, but for us it isn't that. These fans are all working class like us as lads, and you know, it's great for every club to go and get a big tie in the cup, and hopefully we can go that far to get one and give these people a real day out and a real treat, because you know they pay well-earned money to come and watch us here every single week. I know they sell out today, the National League team, but they sell out like it's a championship club, so they deserve it, so hopefully we can go and give them it.
Listen, 15 goals in 20 games already this season. What's your target?
More
goals,
just more, you know.
I'm making it look so easy.
I try not to set targets personally, because you know you can either reach them too early or not reach them, and things change, so I just take it one game at a time and just try and get as many as I can, but ultimately if we win games then that's all that matters.
Great performance today. It is your birthday, as I say. Here's a little something extra as well. Player of the match. Well done, Paul.
Cheers, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Mickey, let's give him a target, OK? He doesn't want to set himself one. Last season he got 32 in 44, 15 in 20. Even my maths can tell you that's almost halfway there. He could beat last season, couldn't he?
He will do. There's no
you think he will
about
do?
That. Yeah, he's in great form, playing in a very good team as well. You know, confident the way he goes about his game. I said to Joby before, a class act, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. What I love about his appetite to go and score goals. He's not just come here to, you know, make up the numbers, and you know, he's talking about his connection with the fans, working class boy, working class football club, and you can see that he never ever stops working and gets his rewards with the goals that he gets.
You said at half-time, were Oldham to get one back, of course that would transform the atmosphere a little bit here, but instead Wrexham get the third, and that is it. And much as we really enjoyed the way they played, all 3 goals are from set pieces.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be disappointed. Obviously, David Dunn was does his homework, but today they've been unlocked from set piece, haven't they?
They're an absolute nightmare, and Tozer's throws, which are so hard to defend. I mean, we came up against it when he was at Cheltenham, and just panic sets in when he goes and stands on that touchline, and you know the ball's coming in. You could see it all afternoon, and it's just another part of the armoury that they've got.
Even though it actually comes off an Oldham head, that doesn't matter if you're Wrexham. If you put it in such a good area, you're there to pick up the pieces.
It's very difficult, Mark, to deal with that type of ball coming in. It's coming with pace as well, isn't it? A quick reaction, obviously, from Oldham, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's the preparation. It's not just that first contact. It's, are you on the move for the second one? Again, that anticipation, and yeah, it's so hard to deal with.
I was really impressed with Wrexham today. Is that what you have seen from them this season? That is the level at which they reach often?
Yeah, I've watched them a lot this season. As I said, they're a good outfit, aren't they? They've got good players and playing well. 10 games unbeaten now at home. It's a good record to have in it. And I think, they're getting stronger and stronger. And I think they're unstoppable at this moment in time. I really do. I think automatic promotion is a great possibility for them.
Yep, 10 unbeaten. It's actually 10 out of 10. They've won every game here. So whoever comes here, were they to get a home draw in round 2, knows they would be in for a battle with Phil Parkinson's team. Here is the manager with Gabriel.
Phil, you set high standards, especially here. So how pleased are you with today?
No, very pleased. I thought it was a very professional performance from us, and scored some good goals, but the work ethic of the team I thought was outstanding today, and very pleased. We keeps our run going at home, and we've set, like you say, high standards, and we've maintained them today.
It's wonderful to listen to Paul Mullin and the enthusiasm he has. How good is he in terms of a striker in this league? And well, maybe when you look at the sort of the Football League as well, he's an outstanding player right now.
Yeah, Mose is a class player. He can go in behind if teams play a high line. If they drop deep, he can find the pockets, and as you've seen today, in and around the box, he's clinical.
We know your priority, we know what it is, but what would it be like for you to see this team face up against a top Premier League side? Would you like to see that happen in the third round, fourth round? Just give yourselves that little cup factor too.
Yeah, we've got to get there first. We've got another round to navigate first, but yeah, of course, the aim is the FA Cup is to draw a team from a higher division to test ourselves. Yeah, and that's the aim. We knew today it'd be tough because Oldham have got a bit of a point to prove after recent results, but I thought we handled the game really well.
And finally, what do you think today has shown those who haven't seen as much of Wrexham, what you're building here?
Well, I just said to the lads, it's what we're all about. We can play. We've got some really good footballers, but I like honesty and hard work and endeavour, and I think you saw that today. And it was important that the whole country saw what a great atmosphere it is at the racecourse, and this club is really live and kicking, and it's we're building strong platforms to take the club forward.
Thank you very much, Phil. Well done.
Thank you.
Absolutely, it has been a really good atmosphere here. Worth bearing in mind in the FA Cup, Phil Parkinson's had really good runs with Colchester and Bradford, and in the League Cup final took Bradford all the way to Wembley, where they lost to Swansea. So he's got quite a reputation in knockout competitions, Phil Parkinson. We were talking before the game, we were anticipating, I think, that Ollie Palmer might play. He didn't. He wanted to give Sam Dolby a go. Sam Dolby got a goal, and it just shows actually a good depth of the squad here for Phil Parkinson.
Absolutely, and that's what they're building towards, clearly. I think for Sam Dolby coming in, when you haven't played a lot of matches, you want to make that impact when you do get an opportunity, and he certainly did that, not just with his goal, but his all-round play. Listen, too much space on the edge of the box when that comes up, but in the right place at the right time. And as you say, that strength in depth that they've got, particularly in those forward areas, are going to be absolutely massive.
Particularly in the National League, where you are playing Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday, aren't you?
It's important. A big squad is crucial. If you want to get promotion, I mean, look at the play here. I mean, the quality, as the manager said then, different level. No disrespect to Oldham. Yeah. They're having a difficult time, but Wrexham are going in the right direction, playing great football. You mentioned about the atmosphere, Mark. You said it yourself.
Great atmosphere.
What an atmosphere! 10,000 sold out every game. The vocal. They get behind the team when they need it. It's a great place to play football at the moment.
Yeah, there's a real togetherness throughout the whole football club that we certainly felt. And again, Paul Mullin was a cut above today, as you say, Mickey. same as Wrexham, really. I thought they were absolutely outstanding from start to finish. And they're really building, you know, a real fortress here. You could feel it in the game. I never really felt Oldham came and thought they could get anything today versus Wrexham, who know they're coming here and they're going to win the game.
Yeah, and just on Oldham,
yes,
obviously
we should mention them.
Yeah, David Unsworth. I mean, now we can focus on what he has to. You know, the priority to stay in that league. They're not in a great position, but they can focus on that now.
Interesting you say that. They actually, much as they want to get promoted, they look a little bit what they are, which is a collection of players who don't know each other's games very well. And as Mickey said, actually to stay in the league is the first priority before they even think about trying to get back into the Football League.
Of course, and I suppose no fan ever wants to accept it. I mean, we had it Orient maybe a year, really, the fans did give us to sort of stabilise, restructure the football club. It needs a whole reset, you know, and he needs time to be able to do that, which I'm sure, judging by the new owner, he will give him that. And then it's about just, as I say, trying to build. What they can't do is get sucked into a relegation fight, because then it gets really, really difficult.
Absolutely it will. Wrexham through. Don't forget more Emirates FA Cup first round action tomorrow night. Will be at Bracknell Town from the Southern League Premier Division against former Cup winners Ipswich Town. ITV 4 from 5 to 7. My thanks to Mickey and Joby. Mickey's going home to watch his free kick again, I think, probably.
Definitely.
Next to Plainmoor to join Laura Woods, Michael Johnson and Ian Holloway for National League Torquay against Derby, playing at this stage of the competition for the first time since the 1980s, so they do not want to be the victims of a cup upset. Thanks for your company. We'll see you all at Bracknell tomorrow.